What's up, YouTube? Godforman 221 here, and welcome back to another company videos to online replay. I got a somewhat special video. We have two gameplays here. They're both kind of short, so they'll equal basically one full gameplay. I also just realized in my replay list, I do have a British game that's about 33 minutes on the steps, so I'll try to show also. Definitely trying to balance out Allies versus Axis. The gameplays that come out, I noticed last two were Axis, so we're going to be playing as the US in both games today. So, we're playing with Schnappy and Nick. Schnappy is in green, Nick is the Russians, representing the whole Allied forces, the Russians, the British, and the Americans in the game. So let's talk about strategy. I'm going to be focusing with Schnappy on our fuel on this side. This is actually a cool map. This is Red Ball Express. It was originally in COH 1, and they just modified it. That's what the loading screen has credits of who basically brought this map into COH 2. Now, the reason we're looking at this headquarters is we're going to take a look at this building. This building will be pretty important later on, but one thing that you can't see from the building is that, well, you should be able to look at is there's no windows on the side of the building. Keep that in mind for a little bit later here. So as the United States, these are my commanders I've been using for a while. Heavy Cavalry Commander if I need a Pershing and Rangers. Rifle Company if I want flamethrowers for my rear echelon troops and easy 8s. And then the Tactical Support Company if I want to play more of a supportive role with Calliope, Recon, the Haptrack, and the light machine gun. So Schnappy has a MG out for me early on. Nick is gonna try to oppose them for their fuel here, but can always shift middle if we need. Our fuel has been secure, which is excellent. I'm grabbing a mortar to help counter any Wehrmacht emplacements or machine guns like this one right here.
Mortar crew standing by for orders.
I do find it kind of odd that his machine gun is covering the munitions because munitions is not as important, especially early on in the game. Munitions are nice to have, but they're definitely not a must. Fuel is far more important than munitions, in my opinion. And the fact that they're just leaving our fuel totally unopposed here is a mistake. Nick is opposed them for their fuel. He has a I was called a Vickers. He has a Maxim out. And it looks like, oh, they have a mortar. And Nick has a mortar too. I like how it's like, okay, we're going to hide by the bushes here. And these two guys, you're with the mortar, you're the target, you'll be right in the middle of the open there. Anyway, so I'm kind of fortifying. I'm very close, actually, to being able to get the 50 cal emplacement here. And these guys will shoot rifle grenades, and they will fire these rifle grenades over the trees here. So my mortar's going to start shooting here. Rifle grenades are coming out from my guys. Machine gun here, I see my first squad get suppressed, and I'm going to run back. Or attempt to get out of here, at least. And this squad gets, yeah, I can't go. I'm also curious about multiple Pioneer squads. You don't really see this too often. Don't you remember in COH2 when Pioneer squads are only 2 in size? Yeah, my units, I need to pull back. Now, I was wondering why my units are suppressed all the way back here. And I did a little bit of a test in the next game, I think. And if you stop, tell your units to stop, they'll not move and they'll pop up like that. So it's just better just to, once you know you're out of the machine gun range, just stop your unit and have them pop up. Because I think when they're still moving, they still need suppression there. It's kind of a weird mechanic. They'll maybe change that. Nick is taking the fuel over here, which is great. He has a mortar out. Hopefully counter the Wehrmacht more. But the Wehrmacht team does have a bunker over here to help reinforce some more if they take any casualties. So, interesting. Nick does need a little bit of help. I actually popped some smoke there. Their mortar moved all the way up here. I put this actually at the perfect location because, I mean, it can get outflanked, obviously, but it can cover this whole section. They would really have to flank all the way around to get to it. I popped down some smoke to help my units at least take away their munitions here. Our opponents are really spamming support. 2 mortars from this guy, 1 mortar from that person. 2 machine guns from him. They're building another bunker here. So they got a lot of support spammed out. If you guys probably don't remember, but when I originally started doing COH 2, I have Season 1, I believe it was Episode 4 or 5, all the way back in Season 1. And it was when I went to heavy Tier 1. And Tier 1 are machine guns, mortars, etc., and grenadiers. And I had a Soviet T-34 just absolutely rip into my line, and I ended up losing that game. And so this is what our opponents are doing now. They're looking pretty strong right now. They're winning back their fuel. Obviously, they stole Nick's Maxim. And kept us with the fuel there. But what they're not doing is they're not prepared for tanks to come out, or some kind of a light vehicle, like a Stuart, or the utility car. I think, oh, I don't know if I get a utility car in this one or the next match. Kind of blending in a little bit, but I do have my lieutenant out. These guys are injured, as I to pull them back. We do have the fuel here. I mean, I thought use the munitions. I know that my opponent has a lot of his machine gun space. This way, it's not giving me any pressure, so it's up to me basically. Get Schnappy sniping away here. What is? He threw some. He threw down a coordinated fire here. It's also a great counter for Nick, being able to use his field gun to actually do a light bombard. You know, a light artillery barrage to be able to hit this area here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Yep, I was right. You know, as soon as I say these things, I just want to make 100% sure that I'm right about these kind of things. So I'm healing up by my ambulance here. It's a little bit of a dangerous position here, but I'm using cover. I'm definitely focused firing on these guys with flamethrowers here. I'm going to switch. I'm going to move these guys back, let them get healed up here. I'm doing a flanking attack here, so I didn't show this properly. So I had these guys push forward with the Pioneers here. I have my lieutenant flanking, and I also sent these guys around. Now where this machine gun arc is, I managed to kind of flank, and now we're behind them. So my unit will stop being suppressed here in a second, and I'll outflank his machine gun, as well as he can only suppress so many units at once here. I have multiple units here he has to be careful about. Anyway, we'll play. Just thought I'd point that out. So I'm just desperate trying to get out of his arc here of fire. And since he's not shooting, he's now focused on these units that are charging him, and he can only suppress one of us, like I was saying. Mortar goes in there and almost wipes everything. And the utility car comes in. He has nothing to counter this. He doesn't even have grenadiers on the field that can counter this. There's no Panzerfaust or anything that can take on my utility car here. So we're taking shots at this machine gun. We're taking shots at this one. It's better actually killing my rear echelons here, but more Pioneers. You do not need Pioneers, my friend. Pioneers are good for building and burning troops out of buildings. They did wipe out my squad there, though. And it's unfortunate, but that guy does not get away, actually. I unfortunately do not have anything to really take out this bunker here, and there's a lot of guns around I'd like to take, but I don't like to take him. I just want to deny him from my opponent. Now, if he was smart here, he'd have gone right to my ambulance, but he's just going to run and let my guys keep reinforcing. I'm going to hop out when we have our bazookas here or my bazooka, in case he's going to try to take me down. I just haven't done enough of the light vehicle combat to know if the utility car could actually take out a scout car. So unfortunately, we're being pushed back on the center. I mean, that was devastating to beat at my opponent this badly here. Now, he can't use his Pioneers to reinforce, which is good. And now I have a half track. They have some mortars, machine guns here. Really shabby. We just need some kind of light armor. Nick does have a T-70. And I now repaired this. I want to be very careful. I am worried about... Yeah, they're shooting at me. They're bombarding my position with mortars. So I'm popping smoke with my mortars, not even actually shooting here. And I really want to, like... I'm going to get this mortar back, obviously. I really want to kill this thing with my bazooka here. But I also don't want to just leave my vehicle abandoned. I'm just not quite sure. I could always hop into this house. I'm just going to end up manning my utility car again. There's 2 scout cars here, so our opponents have gone very heavy tier 1 and scout cars, so it's going to delay their fuel. They now have an AT gun here. Once again, I hop out again. These are just going to auto repair here. And that's a great counter to the scout cars. Nick's T-70. We've now taken the center, like I said. And look at all these guys right here. Even AT gunner there, Nick does have to be a little careful here, but between the mortars going in from my own mortar and my men shooting at them at distance, I did lose my lieutenant. Unfortunately, I forgot he was there and he just got blown up. can get these guys out. Wow, look, I got sniped by an AT gun. Yeah, this MGs are working pretty well on this map here. They're very concentrated in the center right now. But like I said, I'm just going to be saving up here for a major. Sherman should damage them pretty badly. Nick is also moving up with his T-70, just wiped out a mortar squad. He has to be somewhat careful. Oh, we got hit by that AT gun. So now they're very. So here's the problem with the support weapons here, with the ATs, the machine guns, and the mortars. Yes, it's devastating us right now. I wouldn't say okay, they're doing some real damage against us right now. They're holding very well. They're immobile, right? You cannot, with my army, with the utility car and the rifleman, I can flank around, I can attack from different angles. My opponent right here is set on defending this area here. He has to defend the front. He has to defend the front. He has to defend the right side. He's in a little bit of trouble right now. If I decide to flank or attack from both directions, he's not mobile, and that's a big it's gonna be a big issue. I've already got the cap down. It turns out we need a geez, the major. I always get these confused for some reason. Though I know these basic things here. My mortar's shooting as Vet 2, 13 kills here. Grabbed another lieutenant, obviously, and just wiped out that machine gun, so that worked. Okay, I went over here to try to help Nick out. I did wipe out a mortar. I did lose my mortar. I was trying to pull him back there, a little low health, and they had a direct hit from one of their mortars. So lieutenant's out. I'm gonna go over to my car here because this is gonna be Nick's push here. He told me to keep it here for a second, so that's what I'm doing. That as a damaged engine. And Shabby's doing a good job just sniping away here. Now, you gotta love when you hear the smoke coming in because you know it's not a bombing run, because a bombing run right here would be devastating, let's be honest. I did manage to recrew my mortar. I don't want the enemy to have that fall into them. I'm very happy the U.S. has a mortar. I would like to see an update with the U.S. sniper. Okay, back over here. I'm trying to help Nick here. He's taking out the AT gun for me. I'm trying to... Oh, look at that. That flame truck here. I'm trying to kill it. It's so close to dying here. Nick turned his machine gun, unfortunately. He would have been able to take that out if he hadn't. But that... Yeah, I gotta be very careful getting my scout car blown up. My utility car here. Look at this. Nick has his half track just wiping out squads because the AT is dead. They can't really do anything. I finally picked a doctrine here after 13 minutes. So devastating, and it has suppression now. It took away suppression, they added it back, but the half track can no longer reinforce. Same thing for the Wehrmacht, but they have the flame upgrades on it. That's just wonderful. Nick has so many kills here, just devastating orange here. Does have to be careful though. Actually, I have my money on the quad half track here, but it does have rear armor hit though. I would go into overdrive here if I were Nick here. Not. Yeah. So Nick did, the thing is, Nick did enough damage there to make it worthwhile. Where's my... Okay, so I'm gathering up an attack force. Yes, I could have gone BARs. I had plenty of munitions or something, but I decided not to do that this game. I also have Rangers coming out so I can spend some of that munitions. I'm so focused on tanks. There is a machine gun, half strength, trying to set up over here. On my own mortar here. I'm ready to overrun this position base. We've taken back their fuel. So 50 cal starts going after Schnappy's unit right here. I was hoping not to show my tank this early because I figured they'd respawn, but anyway, this unit's moving up. He's gonna back up just as all my units are going forward. He would have died anyway. But now he knows I have a Sherman on this side, so you just have to be a little careful. Maybe possibly AT with these. Yeah, his AT's coming over here. I guess I could activate the, that'd actually be pretty good, the combined arms thing. I'm going right after the Panzer units here. He doesn't seem to be paying attention. We have Commandos popping out from Schnapp. We have the HU shells on here because I don't think they'll have any armor out. I'm a little blobbed here because we just came out of a choke point here. Yeah, the Flame Half-Track's coming in, though, for Nick, and he's having a real struggle against this light armor here. So he's in some trouble here, unfortunately, losing that stuff. I'm rushing over with my Sherman to try to help Nick here. I really need to. This thing has gotten a lot of kills. It's got 12 on Nick, so I'm really trying to make sure that I can try to kill this thing. He does have 2 half-tracks here, so whatever I can kill, that'd be great. So that half-track is now down, going after the second one, so they can't harass Nick anymore. I don't really have anything to take out this bunker right now. I could grab an AT gun, but at this point they've just lost all their light vehicles. I'm going to go on to their thing here and see how much fuel these guys have. Not a ton. I mean, this guy has 120. He doesn't even have the support armored core build. That's when one of them decides to quit. And Ian is very close to a Panzer IV, so these guys spent so much fuel on light vehicles that ultimately backfired once we got armor out here. So that's when they all decided to quit here, basically. But the final thing was blowing up all their bunkers here. That was the big thing, and the fact they went too heavy on light vehicles in Tier 1, and they got pushed back by 1 tank on the field. And Max has a Firefly. You have to tech up. You have to. Oh, this guy went all the way to heavy. Whoa. Okay, this guy went all the way to heavy Panzer Corps. Okay, here's what I would suggest to you guys if you're gonna go to heavy Panzer Corps, skip the support armor core. If you're going for Panthers, don't waste the fuel on both, because if we take a look at this guy, 60 fuel and 50. You might as well. You can just skip. Just go right to this one. Don't waste 60 fuel, because if he had 60 fuel, who knows? He'd be close to a Panther somewhat. Let's see, it's 175. So Orange is the last player who's human that won't quit here, so I'm just going after his AT guns, and his infantry right here is rather elite infantry. My Sherman can't hit him point blank. I need to turn on free fire so the machine gunner up top will start shooting at his units here. Finally wiped out those guys. I mean, I took some casualties, but my units did the job. And once that was a devastating, look how many men just died there. That was a pretty big strike there from his mortar, and I took out 2 more of those guys here. And that's when he decided to surrender. So we said good game to him. That was a fun game. And here's the kills and deaths here. 75, 50, and 43. Not too many losses from Schnapp here. Well, Nick took the most. That's what you do when you're the Russians, so you take a lot of casualties. And here's our opponent's stuff. So yeah, this is the first game, and the second game will be coming in a minute in this video here. So just remember, try not to spam Tier 1, because you will get in trouble. You don't have the mobility. You saw when my tank was able to flank around here, and my units, that their front line of right here was able to be collapsed, and yeah, that's it there. Great, see you guys in the next, and welcome to the second match here. So it's now a 4v4 on the same map. I'm playing as the United States once again in the bottom right corner here. We have Schnappy, we have Nick playing as the United States, and now we have Cloud of Death. Yeah, Cloud of Death is a nice guy. It's one of Schnappy's friends. That's how I met him. Anyway, I'm going against 2 OKW and 2 Wehrmacht. So this is the game I was thinking of. Remember I mentioned that building right here? This is the game it was. Now it was the second game, not the first game. So I can, well, that game was lagging a little bit for a second. Weird. You think a GTX 1080 would not lag COH. Anyway, so I'm going to go with the Rifleman Company. I'll tell you that right now. And we're going to get some flamethrowers on the rear echelon. So in a 4v4, what you usually do is you have 2 people double each fuel. And, well, usually you'd usually have the fuel on your right. So Schnappy and I are going to be taking on this fuel like we did in the last match. And we're going to be up against pink and red. And at the top, you can see on the mini-map down there, Purple and orange are going after that field, so we'll have Cloud and Nick working together.
We got a rifle squad waiting for orders.
However, OKW is a little hard to play against in the early game with their massive amounts of Storm Pioneers and Volks they can make. So I can already see they've captured this, so I'm going to get behind the heavy cover here of the wall and just start shooting out at these guys. They're going to hop into this building, which is good for them. If I turn the camera here, there's a lot of guys shooting out of the windows here. Yeah, you can fit like multiple units in here. And they also have a machine gun that's set up. It's a little mistake not to have the machine gun put in there, but keep in mind I can just flank around on the right side here and just, even though it doesn't make sense to be shooting at a wall, it still is doing pretty good damage to these units inside here. I'm going to focus down on this unit right here. They could win if they get a little closer. It's going to be a close battle, but they're already taking some damage, and these units are now coming in to start shooting at this unit, so overall I should win this fight here. It's just going to have to fall back. Snappy also has a machine gun here to help cover, so he can have this building, that's fine. I pulled back my unit, he's currently suppressed, and I'm going to put some flamethrowers on them. And Schnappy just outflanked. Nice, 2 units outflanking. I'm going to come forward here. We're going to take these guys, basically kick them out of the house here. So what our opponents thought was a pretty good position. That outflank from Schnappy worked really well. They also have a sniper here though, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Let's take a look at this side of the map here. So we have penal troops from Cloud. He's going to hop into this building. He's going to get behind this machine gun here. It was always great to throw down a satchel charge when the machine gun was setting up, because you know they have to move here, and it usually takes too long. Nice wipe out of that MGU by him, and oh, they have flamethrowers now, and they just took out Kupabagan. This is great use of nice outflanking maneuver here by Cloud. Let's see. Nick's going to protect his mortar here. Cloud's penal should do pretty well against Volks Grenadiers. When I have an ambulance out, I have a lieutenant out like I usually get. I could have gone with a captain because Schnappy could provide MGs for me, but it's not a bad idea necessarily to get a lieutenant out, get some firepower. Now his units are in cover, and look at the effect the flamethrowers are having on those units. So they're doing a pretty good job up north here. Really needs a little bit of healing. If he's working with Schnappy, they could have healed up his troops using the first aid. Anyway, we're not manning this big building on the right side here, mainly because of the fact that they're going to shoot us from the side and it's not worth it. Also snipe us through the side of the building here. And I built the fighting position in the same spot I built it last time, where no one's really focused on the center really. We've kind of given that up. I'm going to start shifting. I'm actually going to bow shift here temporarily as they make another push here. And yeah, we push those guys back. I want the munitions really. I'm going to fall back behind Schnappy's MG and get my lieutenant behind the wall here again. Looks like to the north on the mini-map down there, they've kind of withdrawn. But they've kept our opponents from fuel for about 5 minutes here. So these guys are flanking all the way behind here. Unfortunately, I run into a machine gun. I did too shallow of a flank there, but he could have easily turned a machine gun unit if I'd gone a little bit further. So I'm going to have to fall back my rear echelons, but I'll get them back up to the front line to start flaming guys in this building here. Just in my light and heavy cover here, just keep firing into this building here. They're not really getting a whole lot from it. Schnappy's trying to do a little bit of counter sniping over here. Yeah, the US needs to snipe. Let's go check up north here. Nick has BARs out very early. That could really help him out, actually. The extra firepower will help him out a lot. Oh, Nick, your own mortar just almost killed your whole squad. So Nick's going to steal a Wehrmacht mortar, working together here. And look, the OKW blobs incoming. Yeah, a tip is also just don't blob. Blobbing is bad. Now I'm going to try something a little different here. I'm actually going to grab a half track here. I don't really use the half track actually very much, and you'll see why. So we've neutralized their fuel once again up north here, and Nick needs to really reinforce this unit quickly. And you know what? He can't actually reinforce here, I don't believe, because he's not in blue territory. This is technically neutral territory because of this area here on the map. So Nick's just going to fall back there. I've now reinforced and healed these guys up. I'm going to move forward and take out any units in the building here. And there's a lot more OKW units incoming. This A half track is so clunky. Look, I'm going to move this up. It doesn't suppress anymore, which is a problem. It's actually looking pretty good right here. And then it just starts running forward randomly there. And look at it, like, it just looks, it's just awkward to use this thing. That was, I don't think I'm going to make another one of these again, just because of how, it's not worth the fuel, I feel like right now, when you can get a steward or something. They're trying to outflank us with a flamethrower, and they're going right after this building right here. By the way, just look at this. I'm just going to flame these units that are in this building here, take a ton of their health away. And now, we didn't necessarily get a ton of kills in there. Well, we did get a decent amount, but the guys that popped out with little health, look at him using his little covert tactics with his AT there. Now, let's go back up to this. I'm trying to show both sides of the battlefield, trying to do a little more in my videos, not just focus solely in on my side for these 4v4s. So we have a T-70 out. They're trying to kill this bunker here. Those units are bunched up. They have to be careful there from mortars. And now we're not seeing really any action down here. They have taken the VP back from us. The center is totally open. I should definitely... I think I see this, so I'm definitely going to start sending some units over. They do have a minefield here, so I will not recommend doing this with a light vehicle like this. But it does kill some of their... It does kill most of their mines here. So it makes it safe for my units to... Schnappy and my units to actually do some... capture that point, basically. T-70 pretty good, taking out that MG here. You just have to worry about the AT unit, though. Do you remember those Volks blobs with all those Panzerschrecks? Those were so annoying, and I'm happy they got rid of them. Because people now, they would just blob, and they're cheap units, you can replace them. The other units, not so much. I'm like saying, this guy's not going to do any damage. We're pretty safe here with this statue. And even my men in heavy cover here, he's not going to be able to see me. I should obviously be very careful with this AT here. And the scout car. So I'm trying to like move up, I'm clicking an attack order, and it's like shooting behind. It's just so awkward to manage. And they have 2 AT guns out here. My return on investment is not very high. Let's go back up to the north here. Cloud's infantry are becoming quite veteran right now, doing a good job. Veteran C2 on both of them, flamethrowers. So he's using the T-70 pretty effectively. He's of course trying to dodge these guys here. Now we're gonna have, now we're getting tripled here. Orange is now coming, who is at the north there. So you have orange, pink, and red coming after us. And look how close these guys are to Schnappy's unit there. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I got some units here. They're doing it. This is an all-out push to secure one kind of fuel here. And this is actually a good use of the AA half-track here, just to shoot up. Yes, I don't think it. Yeah, this is suppressing them. The AA doesn't suppress anymore. The artillery was going down from Schnappy's base there. So honestly, for 3 units, 3 armies, they should have been able to take that. Now they need to have attacked here and here at the same time and just trying to overwhelm us completely, which they haven't been able to really do. I have my my major out here. Didn't make that mistake twice in the same video. I'm saving up for a Sherman, which I'm very close to getting, which I can now get. AT gun's doing some damage here. And yeah, we have all the victory points now. We have both fuels. We're doing really well right now against our opponents. And you can see why I want to combine these kind of shorter gameplays into a little bit of a longer video for you guys, not just give you a 12-minute video and be like, hey, there you go, have fun waiting a couple days. Cloud of Death units moving in, 15 kills and climbing. Cloud has got to be careful with this D70 here. So yeah, they're hopping in the building again. They seem that, I don't know if they can... Let's hop on these guys, Fog of War. Yeah, they can see the unit here. It's basically at the very edge of the map, so I guess they're just not paying attention. So every time they put a unit in here, it gets flamed. And I just keep repairing this thing constantly and try to use it. What's awkward is it can't turn. It should almost be facing forward, I think, all the time.
Crowds show 300 points on their line.
Anyway, they're gonna hit me and...
Tank destroyer is ready for orders.
Oh, you know what I got? I got a Jackson. Oh, they gotta be careful here. Artillery going down. He's gonna get a sniper out of there. Kind of a nice little sniper duel here between Schnappy's guy and mine. I'm sorry, Schnappy and the Bearmoth player. And that is where Mr. Popo is gone now. Meister Popo. And those are the opponents we were fighting the whole game. They're now AI controlled. Then orange is gonna leave and purple is gonna leave.
Echelon squad ready for action.
I've been playing some Counter-Strike Global Offensive lately with some friends in some competitive matches, and one thing Counter-Strike Global Offensive has, as I bring this up, is they have a system where if you quit matches, you get a temporary ban from online gameplay. I would not be opposed to that happening in COH 2, let's be honest. We don't like it when we're playing a 4v4 and one person quits, and then 2 more quit and you're on your own. What are you going to do? You're going to have to quit also. So, now we won this probably, but it's also... It's just annoying to see teammates quit on you. So maybe a ban like that at some point would be good. Now let's take a quick look at my unsung hero in the rear echelons. Only 3 kills, but what they did was they took a lot of health away from German units in this building, and they often got shot leaving it. So here's the kills and deaths. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.